The Lincoln's Legends podcast is proudly brought to you by two amazing sponsors that are local businesses from right here in Springfield. MilesT-shirts.com, top-notch printing at a great price, and Laces Footwear. Why buy kicks and threads at separate places when the freshest gear is all at Laces? LacesFootwear.com. Now entering the Lincoln's Legends podcast. Welcome to the 217 Problems episode of the Lincoln's Legends podcast. You can say whatever we want. We're actually at, where are we?
You're at Cousin Eddie's.
I prefer to let the guests pick the show because it's more organic like that. It's pretty awesome. You're now I'm Bailey.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I want to say, met each other 3 seconds ago, but that's no fun because you guys couldn't hear it. So how did this whole thing get started, the 217 Problems? Because I like it.
Okay, well, my background's in public relations and mass comm. I went to SIUE, and at SIUE, I created a social media account called SIUE Goose.
Nice.
I don't know if you ever been to SIUE or not.
I have been in trouble for being at Cougar Village for too many times.
Okay, well then there's a lot of geese on campus. There's a lot of geese on campus.
Absolutely.
And so what I did was I created a Twitter account and I responded to an article that was written by the school paper about the geese. I was working for the school paper at the time, so they were kind of like, oh, who's responding to us? Who's reading our articles? But really it was me, and they were like kind of bummed after a while.
That makes sense.
I found that out. But so I kind of stopped it because how much more waddling jokes can you do?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I decided to do it again one day, and next thing I know, it caught fire, and everyone was wanting to know who SIUE Goose was.
That's awesome.
Friends would text me, wanting to know. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm in class right now, and somebody's talking to me about SIUE Goose. Should I tell them that you?" I'm like, "No, keep it secret."
No. Yeah.
So
it's more fun to have the
right.
What do we see? The Oz is behind the curtain.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. And so when I finally, got it really popular, which 2,000 people ended up following me, which that's 10% of SIUE.
No, that's huge. 2,000 people.
Good,
yeah. No.
So
you get 10 people that want to know if you went to the bathroom and they're checking their Facebook feed. That's what people don't understand. Anyways, I digress.
So by the time that I graduated SIUE, it turned into an internship for me by the university. They sponsored
nice.
it because I used it as a marketing tool.
Absolutely.
Because it was something that was fun.
You should.
It was fun. It was diverse.
Yeah.
It was something that everyone enjoyed.
Awesome.
And so I was walking to the student center one day right before I graduated, and I was like, man, what am I going to do when I graduate? Because like this everyday thing is really mind stimulating.
Absolutely.
I was like, well, we always talk about stuff like back home.
Yeah.
So I just typed in 217 problems, and it hadn't been created yet. So I typed it in, and I started up with just basic stereotypes.
Absolutely.
Stereotypes are bad, but they're awesome if they're right.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's only a stereotype until it's true.
Uh-huh.
It is what it is. It's like people that go to, I don't know if you frequent the North End Dirksen Walmart, but there's neck tats at 19. And, people can get mad, but, we'll have you on the podcast from Walmart, and you can tell us how you feel about that, too. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and so I kind of started it, just basic everyday things on Twitter, and I really just did it's really inconvenient when there's a long line at Ice Deli.
Absolutely.
And you can't, that's more annoying than anything. And people are like, oh yeah, I've been in line at Ice Deli millions of times and had to wait for 40 minutes just to get my snow cone. So I started with that, and it kind of just...
Well, if you were 15 and hot, though, you wouldn't have to wait at Ice Deli.
Right.
Because there'd be a dude right behind there.
Not when you're 26
and
scruffy. Not when you're 26 and scruffy. It's a rough life.
Excuse me, sir. I'm 26. I'm not a sir.
Yeah. So it evolved into something, your basic everyday struggles with 217, and then I kind of made it into... I'd see something funny and I would take a picture of it, and then that involved the people sending me stuff.
Absolutely.
And then we get to when Chatham, there was an online bullying account.
Oh, God.
And I I told my people to suspend that account.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
And-
that you were getting in trouble
No,
for that. I was like,
no,
oh
no,
no.
I suspended it, and then the news picked it up, WICS,
Nice.
and I was on the news for that. And then, unfortunately, tragedies happened, and I kind of gave tribute, kind of like, hey, this is
Sure.
some problem. Young
Yeah.
people are dying too soon.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I've created the biggest thing.
That's
like,
awesome.
on social media.
That's
That on each platform, not just like one.
no, absolutely.
Because like SGR has, or like say WICS has
Yeah.
50,000 likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
But on Twitter, it's only about 9.
Yeah, but it's still
But
it,
it's still- it's
it
like-
crosses over. No, absolutely. Now, I want to talk about. I would call it merch. You might not call it merch. I've seen T-shirts, bumper stickers. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so I've collaborated with a buddy of mine.
The graphic artist.
Yeah, he's a graphic art / T-shirt person.
Okay.
And he is making T-shirts. We order. We kind of collaborate on the ideas.
Yeah.
And so it's shop217.com.
Yeah.
And actually, bumper stickers, that's my next project, to do bumper stickers. Like have a card that just says you're following a 217.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's
Is there a blog as well? Like, is it just the Twitter account,
It's
or are there
Twitter,
people that?
it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Vine.
Wow, nice. See, I didn't even know all that. I just knew from the Twitter feed, and now, yeah. See, I thought I knew, and I'm interviewing you, so I don't know.
Yeah. Facebook's about 28,000.
That's awesome.
28,007, 8, something like that, give or take. It's kind of one of those things that it's definitely time consuming. People think that you can just
Oh, no.
and it takes a lot of time. And I actually developed a side business of social media.
Yeah.
Because I do this place as social
Sure.
media, Cousin Eddie's, and I do like 6 other places in town.
That's awesome. I hate to say that, like, it's not there unless I know it, but that's kind of the reason why I wanted to develop the show, because there's so much stuff to do in town and so much awesome things going on, but people are like, there's nothing to do. Well, it's because you don't know where it is or where to go. And
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of guilty of that.
Yeah.
That's how I got started. So, you always complain
Yeah.
about there's nothing to do.
absolutely. Yeah, no, you were
I will
asked.
say Springfield, may not the whole 217, but Springfield, there's a lot of specialized things.
Absolutely.
So,
There-
like, some festivals that the average 26-year-old I'm not going to, unless I'm older.
No,
It's
yeah.
not, there are things to do. It just whether it fills your interest or not.
Yeah, and I think that all about the exposure. That's why I want to interview people at their location. Where's your favorite place in town that I maybe haven't been or don't know about? I mean, I've been here almost 30 years, and there's still things I have no idea what's going on.
And you've never been here before?
This is my 3rd time here.
Okay.
And how long has it been open? Like 5 years or something?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years. I
Yeah,
think,
see? I've been here a handful of times. And the, I love vacation. Oh, I mean, I love all 80s, but this thing, tell me about, well, if you know, about like licensing, like this is all good to go for all the memorabilia? Because you have like screenshots.
Well, it's kind of one of those things that it's, because of that issue, I believe it's like screenshots. It's not necessarily.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
but
no. I think it's not official.
okay, well,
It's not official.
okay, well, don't rat
It's-
nobody out. I'm sorry. I hope
Or
I
do you
don't.
know how the licensing works for like Cousin Eddie's thing? Because someone says it's like they get away with it somehow because.
I know Will, when he first opened it, he's like, there's certain things we have to do and can't do.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just asking a
Well, I'm
a
sure if
question.
that would have happened, it would have happened by now.
Okay,
Like,
cool. But no, I mean,
So I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm sure they doubted their
when we were talking back and forth on Twitter, 'cause it's a restaurant, it's a bar. I love the chicken waffle bites. Oh my God, those are delicious.
No, those are definitely
They're
kind of
little
like
nuggets of chicken that are breaded with waffle, and you get syrup.
It's your perfect combination of brunch.
It's gonna ruin my life.
Hey, Buffalo chicken strip out.
No,
It takes a day off my life. And they have a really good underrated horseshoe here too. Underrated.
I will check it out. I'm a fan of the horseshoe. You put cheese and beef on it. We'll eat it.
The thing that really I want to touch upon
You got
in this
all the time in the world.
is what's fun is I could post a picture of someone's car and within 5 minutes anymore somebody's gonna text somebody like, hey, this is your car, it's famous.
That's awesome.
And it's just like, and it never fails. Every time I could post something and somebody's gonna text somebody who knows that. Like I tagged a picture of there was a picture of a tractor parked on a porch.
Yeah.
Within 10 minutes, someone tagged the owner of that house.
That is amazing. Now, that really shows how small Springfield is. People act like it's huge.
Well, but 217 in general.
Well, excuse me. To much more broader term, people act like Central Illinois is very, excuse me, everyone knows each other through somebody, and social media really makes it, I mean, you can't go outside and yell at your neighbor because your neighbor is going to put that online. So I really hope that when people listen to this, they're very conscious about what they say and where they say it, because at this point, even if I were mad at somebody in traffic, I can't give them the finger because it's going to be somebody's grandma, somebody's daughter. It's going to be somebody's that owns a business that I'm trying to, I'm trying to work with, obviously.
Right.
But let's see, we've got all kinds of questions. If you were a mayor for a day, what would you change?
I touched upon this actually for the election last week on my 217 Facebook page. I would get rid of the unauthorized vehicles or only authorized vehicles only signs on the road. The turnarounds.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I would get rid of those because I need those at least once a week.
I get you. Okay.
It's something simple and realistic.
It's a U-turn. I want to make a U-turn.
I want to be able to make a U-turn, for every time I miss my turn or something. Because
go ahead, man.
Once you're going down, what's the place by the fairgrounds? Like down that way.
Peoria Road?
Fairgrounds. Yeah, Peoria Road. It's like once you miss that, you have to go like 2 miles to try to go another way. Like there's no.
So it's a specific north end problem at this time. We need to make U-turns because there's not enough exits.
There's going back, but you're not going. Once you miss it, there's no going back. But it's gonna be a while.
All right, let's see. I have a section that's probably because I was gonna ask this question, but it seems that rather than throwing somebody on the bus with 217 problems, you have a very positive spin to it.
Right. I feel like I'm going to say I'm pretty good at walking the line.
Yeah.
Without doing it individually.
I was really surprised. I really was.
Because I'm not going to make fun of. Say if you're doing something, I'm not going to make fun of your haircut.
Right.
But if you're a lady, just sent me a picture of a lady vacuuming her car underneath the hood.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to make fun of your individual, but I'm going to make fun of what you're doing.
And I was going to say, go ahead, sorry.
Because there's a difference between making fun of like, oh, there's a butt crack. Oh, look at that butt crack in 217. Well, that's kind of overused, and like after a while, like
sure,
most people could care less about that type of thing. I do my best to blur people out
which is polite, because when I saw the name of the site, I thought it was just going to be, and please don't be mad, but a ripoff of different things by saying, well, this person is looking obnoxious or they're doing something completely wrong, and I'm going to throw them under the bus, and it's a very negative aspect. But with you, it's, hey, this is a problem. Maybe we can call somebody to fix it. Like you were saying, the neighbor's car or tractor, you call somebody, say, hey, by the way, you're on the internet. Like, you might want to, don't do that.
Yeah, it's a call to action to just be smarter.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely, and like you said, you're gonna blur somebody's face out. You're not gonna say, oh, Jimmy's mom's overweight and she's a Walmart.
Right.
Sorry for two Walmart references in the same sentence.
I'm not gonna do, a tank top with a 400-pound woman and be like, whoa, what's that?
And
come on, lady.
That's very hard to do. So definitely respect the fact that
I don't think
you're not airing out dirty laundry, but you say that there is an issue and you take it upon yourself to fix it.
Right. In a way, I mean. Some of it is just like innocent, like the tractor thing. That's it is innocent humor at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But I think I notice at least the younger kids, and especially when I was in college, most people think only things are funny on the internet, like a page like this, if you blatantly be obnoxious and say, oh my gosh, why are you
single somebody out,
why are you
and
looking
then
like a leprechaun?
And you know what though, you would come full circle and become what you hate, because you just helped the Chatham or the abuse account. Mm-hmm. So now you have a social responsibility.
No, and that's what I view it. That's what I definitely view it like that. And there'll be people that'll send me stuff and be like, look at this white trash person, look at what they're saying. I'm like, I was like, I can't, I'm not about as much as I can without that white trash drama stuff, or people want to be like, oh, look at this baby, what's she doing with her son? I can't. That's not my place to.
That's awesome though. That is, because I can't say it enough. You look at the name, you're like, oh, well, all it is gonna be just whining, just this is wrong. These people are WT, or maybe they're not. The demographic is a stereotype, and so on and so forth.
I try to go by the standard almost of whatever you can say on normal networks for FCC.
That makes sense.
That's what I try to keep it by. I mean, I'll throw in like a dam or that's only even in context if it makes sense.
Sure. You were asking when we started about the social media background and the radio background. We're a couple episodes in, so I'm going to share this with the listeners if they don't know me personally. I was a part of WQLZ's Pandemonium for 3 years. It was a labor of love. I wanted to do many, many things with the show. I feel that I learned a lot, and I decided that it was time to move on. So what I'm doing now is something that I'm 100%, I live and breathe it. It's I'm treating it like a one-man band. It's write, record, produce, promote, repeat. That's my cycle right now. So I guess it's I wanted to inform you a little bit about me, and like I said, we're a couple episodes and it's been amazing. We're booking out. I'm really happy with the response we've got. I'm glad that we can collaborate and go back and forth. It will expose your listeners to the fact of, hey, who's the guy behind it? And it's very informative. And I'm not going to say that it's going to boost either one of our sites, but it's nice to sit down with the guy and say, hey, well, this is what he's doing, and stop sending me pictures of what you feel is inappropriate stuff because you want me to do it because it's what we call slow news day, because you have integrity and you're not going to do that, which is awesome. Because
and don't get me wrong, through this whole process, I've made my mistakes throughout this.
It's part of learning, bud.
I made my mistakes that had cost me some things,
Well, sure.
I endangered a business on April Fool's Day once. I wasn't proud of that, just because but I didn't think anybody would believe me. But that was the power of social media. I'm learning just because you think it's a joke and you think, oh well, the reputation will stand, it won't.
I've already lost a sponsor for the show because I told the truth. Not me, but one of my guests. And I'm fortunate enough to where if I can put the truth out there about how somebody really feels about the city of Springfield, and I was talking to a guy today about it, and he said, what does it cost to do the show? I said, if I end up having to deliver pizza just to keep this thing going on the weekends, I'll do it, because I'm so passionate about getting the information out there. So I understand where you're coming from about, learning in the process, and I learned that it wasn't a good idea to approach a certain person that works in a certain industry because they are a brand, and I'm learning as well. So
and what's funny is, so one of my there's a lot of frustration that comes, not a lot, but not anymore. But like say last year, there's a guy in Milliken. He's a teacher, but he murdered his family like 30 years ago. So he's a teacher now. Well, that got brought up in the summer borders did work, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the university knew about this. I guess like mentally insane, but he like rehabilitated or whatever. And he's a psychology teacher of all things.
My eyes are the size of goose eggs right now. I just want people to know that.
So I posted about it because I saw it. It was on national news.
Now, okay, so you piggybacked off of national news. You didn't out the guy.
I didn't out the guy. No, I piggybacked.
Okay, absolutely.
A couple people were like, leave him alone. He's ridiculous. Why are you doing this to us? You're just like that. And I'm like, you don't need to worry about me. You need to worry about Nancy Grace that's talking about the guy right
Absolutely.
now. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, you didn't break the story. It'd be completely different if one guy from Springfield just put a tiny URL with a whole biopic about this guy and you ruined his life. But if it's already out there and people just don't know about it, it is what it is.
But it's just funny because people think that, people will send me stuff all the time that Facebook has pages like, and they say 217 Problems is like SGR, like WICS.
Yeah, it's not even.
But it was just they're saying that they consider me a news,
okay. Like
they consider me a news source.
Well, that's because you're not corporately owned by 5 people that are saying, hey, push this to the front page.
Right.
I got a segment, and it's called Lincoln's Losers. I ask everybody if they want to not throw somebody on the bus, but just say this is getting into my skin. Like, I like to use the example of my neighbor's dog has been pooping in my yard for 2 weeks. He won't clean it up. The guy needs to, Tom, if you're listening, have your dog stop pooping on my yard. Is there anybody that you are frustrated by, or, like a neighbor or an issue that you're like, you know what, if I could have 2 minutes to say something and it was real and it was honest, but be careful though, protect your brand, obviously. I'll give you the disclaimer. I mean, this is going to go on the show.
Yeah.
Do you have a response for that question?
Well, it's kind of a real world thing I've been experiencing recently. So in college, people walk across the street in the walkways, and they couldn't care if a car was 2 seconds away from you or a mile away from you.
Yeah, I've been there.
They would walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the real world, people, if I'm, let's go 600 feet away from you,
Yeah.
you could look at me and still run across the street.
Yeah.
You don't need to stand in the middle of the street and wonder what I'm going to do
So-
as I close in. By the time you stare at me for the 5 seconds, you could have been across the street already.
So you bring it into the holiday shopping, which we're fastly approaching. It's the people that are just walking in the middle between, the parking lot and the store, and it's like, no, I'm just gonna take up all the room.
Right now, and like as I pull up, you could look at me and say, okay, I'm going to step back and go, or
Right.
you could look at me and go across. But no, they just stand there.
Stop being so self-important and walk across the street.
Yeah, just walk across the street. Don't look at him like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna drive over me? Or are you gonna what? What are you gonna do? Like, just make a fucking decision and go. Sorry, I cussed.
What are you sorry about? It's
no.
on the internet. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
It pisses me off to no end.
Well, you know what? So
and I just realized that's the difference between college and the real world is like this whole like college students give zero shits. Like they're like, you hit me, I don't care. It's your fault. Real world people are like, oh my god.
Oh, absolutely.
They like brace for like disaster.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for being on the show, man.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
problem.
The Lincoln's Legends Podcast. In 1965, John Wayne Gacy was elected vice president of the Springfield JCs. What's up, Springfield? It's Bailey. I want to take a second of your time to talk to you about Movember, the leading global organization committed to changing the face of men's health. I bet you've seen a handful of celebrities like Nick Offerman and Stephen Fry using their platform to promote awareness. But did you know that we have a team right here in Springfield dedicated to the cause? Check out their page at Lincoln Land Mo Bros to find out how to show your support on a local level. And remember, Lincoln's Legends Podcast. If you have a pulse and a passion, we want to hear from you. The Lincoln's Legends Podcast supports local bands, and we don't want you to miss these killer shows. Starting Black Friday, November 28th, the Timmies will be tearing up the stage with Josh Calano, The Dirty Thoughts, and many, many more. The show's at Donnie's Homespun. It starts at 9 p.m. It is an all-ages show, but if you want to enjoy some of Grandpa's cough medicine, you're going to need your ID. Saturday, November 9th, 9 p.m. at the Tin Can Pub, a 21 and over show. Don't miss the highly anticipated EP release show of Action Bastard, alongside with Sorry City Stranglers and introducing Sam West in the Night Shift. We've got your weekend covered. Here's the checklist. Rock, recover, rock, recover. You're welcome. Lincoln's Legends Podcast. If you got a pulse and a passion, we want to hear from you.